The shirt is black, red.
The Liverpool shirt?
Yes.
Red, all red.
All right. Okay. I'm confused. Well,
Cuando quieras.
well, we are starting. Campino, hello.
Sí.
I wanted to ask you about your first times in Argentina. You know, how was that you came here? Why? How was that day with the Violadores and with Rafa?
There was a German hardcore fan who lived in a town called Karlsruhe in Germany, and he decided to emigrate to Argentina to live in Buenos Aires. And a few months later, he written a letter and said, "Thank God, punk rock also is in Argentina." And I got to know a few of the people in the scene. And there's a band called Los Violadores, and they asked me about you and whether you would be interested to play here. So we written back, of course, it would be nice to come, and letters were exchanged. And about a year later, it really happened. They sent the tickets for the flight, and we came over. But Los Violadores, in the meantime, split up. So we were playing with the follow-up, with Pilsen, with Pils band, yeah. But of course, till then, we had all the records of Los Violadores, and it was clear that they had a similar function to the Argentinian punk movement than we had in Germany. So we kind of felt we were connected somehow, yeah, in our philosophy.
Yes, and what was the year?
The year?
Approx?
You must forgive me, but most of the 90s I can't remember.
Okay. Why, man? Why?
Because I had a lot of. Well, I heard about drugs in Argentina before, but
Drugs? Okay, go.
when I was hit by reality, it was a great experience.
Okay.
But don't ask me about certain months or weeks or whatever.
Okay.
It must have been beginning of the 90s.
Okay. Something about. Well, and what was for you? Why you decide to play? Why do you decide to play Uno Dos Ultraviolento?
Oh, it's a very strange thing with that song, because Los Violadores have written it at the same time, 8,000 miles away. We were writing a song called Here Comes Alex, which is the same issue. It was both about Clockwork Orange, and for me it shows that the spirit of our heads was pretty similar. This song, as we understand it, means a lot to the Argentinian punk movement, and we play it now to show our respect not only towards our followers and supporters here in this country, but also as a sign of respect towards the Argentinian music scene. And we got to know a lot of bands, Attack 77, the RGs, and so on and so on. So we made a lot of friends in the scene, and it's just our way of saying thank you and hello.
Okay, and because you are recording this song, you mean the people, a guy is Sergio Gramatica, you know. I want to ask you for him, what was to you, mean him.
All right, we met him before.
Huh? Sorry, you can understand.
No problem. I met him before, years before. We know each other, yeah. But he was a big help in the studio, doing the singing, and they all are very pleasant guys. And I used to sing with them. One night I was down the Roxy Club, and Los Violadores were playing, and I was totally pissed out of my head. And I was pushed on stage, so I sang a few songs with them. I can't even remember which ones they were, but it was a great night. So I enjoyed watching them there. I was staying aside the stage, and this is the great thing about rock and roll, maybe about punk. It's a worldwide thing, and sometimes there's a language barrier, but it doesn't matter because it's all It's all about the music, and it all, you know, you can feel it. It's the same spirit. And this is why people who, if you are soulmates, you have some person like in Düsseldorf and Berlin, they're both punks, they've never seen each other. But if they go to Australia, they will end up in the same pub, because they go through the streets with the same kind of eyes, they see the same things, and this is what makes the whole thing so great.
He's a great character here because he's one of the first punkies in Argentina.
Yeah.
Hey, Campino! He talk this way. Hey, hola, ¿cómo estás? I like him. Well,
He's a good guy.
It's a really good guy, yeah.
Yeah.
One, I think it's the last one, or not sorry.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Piltrafa. What do you know about him? What is your relation, if he exists or not? Or
Who?
Piltrafa, Pil.
Oh yeah, Pip. Well, nowadays I think he lives in Paraguay.
In Peru.
In Peru. Yeah, you're right. He lives in Peru, and I remember last time in January he was here for a weekend or so, and he was having his birthday party, and actually I wanted to come, but unfortunately I got so sick on the day, and I was sick all over the place in my hotel, and I just couldn't make it. But so far I haven't checked out whether he's in Peru, back in Peru, or whether he's here this weekend. But he always has been a great friend. Good, was always fun to meet him, and we've been hanging around and drinking. And there was always somebody there who translated stuff, because his English is not too good, and my Spanish is a joke. But
a great communication.
And especially the way he supported us in the beginning years was fantastic. So. Of course, we were trying to give him back every favor he asked for. Like, we were playing Viva la Revolution con Los Violadores. They played a version of Bona Luna, and there was a lot of friendliness and friendly things between the bands, you know. And I always consider them as our Argentinian friends, number one, you know.
Well, very good. And this is really the last one. I want to ask you about the punk attitude. What do you think that means? What do you think is the punk thing, the punk music, the punk rock, the punk attitude, generally in the world?
Well, when punk rock exploded end of the 70s, the philosophy was clearly defined, and it was easy to identify yourself with it. Yeah, the borders were clear. Almost over 30 years later, it's a very individual thing, and every person who joined the movement has brought in another aspect. So you've got loads of different bands who all call themselves punk bands, and they hardly got anything in common. But I wouldn't be the one who would decide here's a good punk and there's a bad punk, you know. Like bands like Bad Religion have always been full of political ideas. Then you had Green Day in the beginning years, not more than a middle-class whitey joke, but nevertheless now delivering one of the greatest rock and roll records of all times with American Idiot, you know. And they were always good. They were always good people. We know Green Day very well. They've been on tour with us endless, yeah. But they made a very interesting development, yeah, with what they are saying and their lyrics. And then you've got Offspring, you've got fun bands, you've got hardcore bands. It's very hard to speak for the punk rock movement nowadays. It's impossible, actually. Yeah. Every band should be judged by its own. I think this is what every musician deserves, actually. You know.
Okay, Campino, that's all.
All right.
Thank you very much. And really good look.
Thank you, man.
Gracias.
All right.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.